a nice way to start off the day, wouldn't you say? Wow. Look at this. Just driving along here, I couldn't believe sunrise this morning. So you know the adventure is going to be one heck of an adventure. Nice way to start off the day. Look at that. My goodness. This is getting better than that, folks.
It's never before said by me. I got to break free. Yeah, it's just an ordinary day. Clouds are in my way. It's just an ordinary day. So let's get away. I need to feel so free. What does life want from me, other than an ordinary day? Yeah.
That's right. Welcome to What's Next, Northland. I'm your host, Craig Himmelwright, and we're here at Niagara Cave. Waterfalls in a cave. This should be fun. Let's go check it out. Wow. Fascinating.
You can feel free to step into this wider room over here so everybody has enough space. Small amounts of runoff water from melting glaciers would have begun to seep down into cracks in the earth until they eventually formed an underground stream. That stream then began to erode away the limestone down here until it had eventually shaped the entire cave that you'll be seeing today. Now, as you can probably already hear down behind me, there is still flowing water in this cave still today. All of that is rainwater, which has been absorbed by the ground around the area and is then let down into our cave by sinkholes nearby. So I'm going to be taking you down there. We'll see our underground stream and our waterfall. I am going to caution you that our waterfall is about 50 feet high, and we will be on a bridge looking down into it. So just make sure that you hang on to any personal items that you might have with you today. If you did drop something down there, I would not be able to get it back. There is also going to be a bit of a low ceiling down this way at first as well, so it's also a good idea to watch your heads down there as well. Does anyone have any questions? which is a blanket term for any formation that grows down in a cave. I know that this one does look like a big pile of mud or clay, but it is actually all solid rock. And the way that these formations down here grow is when water drips down into a cave, it picks up a tiny bit of a mineral called calcium carbonate or calcite, which over a very, very long period of time is gradually deposited and will build up into these various formations that you'll be seeing down here today.
So the rate that we get, filtered through, going through the soil this way, rock layer, gold that with it, rock layer.
Now, if you look, look on the ceiling right up here, you will find that we've got our first fossils up there. Those little spirals on the ceiling there are called Macrorites gastropods, and these are kind of ancient snails. Now, all of the fossils that you'll be seeing on this tour today are roughly about 450 million years old. That's much older than the dinosaurs. They all originate back from a time period known as the Ordovician. And back during the Ordovician period, the land that would eventually become Minnesota was actually a shallow sea. And all of the limestone that we're walking through today was actually sediment on that sea floor. You said 240 billion? 450 billion years.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so right here we have a pretty popular room of the cave. This right here is our wedding chapel. Now, the very first wedding ceremony that we ever had down here was held in October of 1935, just 1 year after the cave had first been opened. And there have actually been over 400 wedding ceremonies held in this room ever since then. The largest wedding we ever had down here was about 45 people. And as you can imagine, most of them did have to be standing out here in the hallway. Does anybody have any more questions about anything we've seen down here so far? No? Alright. Well, this next room that we're going to be entering down here does have a low ceiling, so again, I advise you to watch your heads while we're down here. However, this echo chamber doesn't actually throw your voice back to you like you would normally expect from an echo. And instead what happens down here is sound resonates off the sides of these walls because of the unique shape of this tunnel down here. So if you would just like to have a quick listen here, I'll demonstrate. So all I'm doing right there is I just have to find the sternum of my chest right along here, make a fist, and just very gently thump that with my knuckles.
Cool.
So if you want to give that a try, that's going to work in the echo chamber, which is from that staircase over to the next one. I have found it's most effective in this pocket right up here, so feel free to step in there and give it a try. And if anyone down here has a deep baritone voice, you can also try humming. That doesn't...
It's like always, it's like a teardrop, you know, almost like a formation.
Yeah. Some of these passageways have really interesting shapes to them.
So do you still get offers for weddings down here still?
We do, yeah. We actually had 3 weddings booked down here this year, but they all got canceled for one reason or another. So, bad luck.
They weren't ready.
Cold feet.
Yeah.
Down here, that usually means literally.
Yeah, really.
All right, so kind of a fun fact about our echo chamber back there. That's actually the only room of this cave that something was ever removed from. Back when they were churning out all of the mud and silt from that room to get it ready for visitors, they came across what they believed was the skeleton of a prehistoric bear. And that was actually on display in our gift shop until the late 1930s. And at that point, they sent the bones off to Luther College down in Iowa to try and get a positive ID. And the college then lost the bones. I know. So unfortunately, we don't have that skeleton anymore, but I still like the idea of a bear at one time wandering through these passageways. Now, if you would like to take a look on the wall right behind you here, there is another fossil that hides back there. So this fossil right here is called an Endoceras. The Endoceras was a cephalopod, an ancestor of the modern-day squid. Back during the Ordovician period, cephalopods lived in hard, cone-like shells for protection, which is what you're seeing fossilized right here. The tip of its shell would have extended out this way, with 10 long tentacles out over here. Now this Endoceras was probably about 4 feet long when it died, but some of these have actually been found to be up to 18 feet long, which makes them one of the largest animals alive back then.
Oh. Angry. Oh, that's neat. Reminds me of the movie Alien.
You're not the first to make that comparison.
Oh, really?
So right up here on the wall, we have a few more speleothems, or cave formations, that are forming down here. These are examples of what we call ribbon stalactites. Now the word stalactite is pronounced with a C, as in ceiling, and that's the name given to any formation which grows down from the ceiling in a cave. These ribbon stalactites, for example, are formed when water runs down the side of a wall, leaving a trail of calcite to build up behind it. A very common nickname for these is also cave bacon, so you might hear that tossed around.
Oh.
I've been into different caves in the past with both the stalactite and stalagmites.
Stalagmite, yep, that's the one that grows up from the ground.
Yeah. Is it in here?
We don't have many stalagmites in this cave since the original floor was removed. There are actually a few around this next corner, so I can point those out as we go by. Alright, so for this next demonstration, I'm going to have everyone step off the right-hand side of the wall over here. And if you have any camera flashes or other lights, I am going to ask that you leave those off for this next minute or so. Those of you on the ends of the lines, you can come up a little bit closer just so you have a nice view of this wall right over here. So here along this wall, we have a few more of those ribbon stalactites, just like the ones that you saw back there. Now, under a regular flashlight like this, these don't look too different, but if I switch that light off and then I replace that with my UV lights right here.
Oh, neat.
So another mineral that these formations pick up as they grow is called phosphorus, which is what's making the wall kind of sparkle like this. Now, in addition, the phosphorus is also going to absorb my UV light now.
Wow.
And that effect will work on any area of this cave where these formations are wet and not in direct light. But dry or indirect light, and they don't really have the same effect to them.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
Never played with rocks like that before.
Those few stalagmites that we have down here, are right here along that wall.
Just keep going. It's like the movie Dune or something. Or Indiana Jones. Where am I at? This is so neat.
On that last one, the second light, what did you use with the second light where you had the designs?
They're both UV lights, yeah.
One was kind of purple and one was more.
And depending on the light, sometimes they look a little bit different, but they
Gotcha.
still have the same effect there. I just use two to kind of make it a little bit stronger on the wall. So you can all step up a little bit closer into this wider area just so everybody can see and hear as well as possible.
It's okay. Are you alright?
All right, so we've now reached the halfway point of our tour today. Is everyone still doing all right?
No, yeah.
Yeah? Is everyone liking the cave so far?
Yeah.
All right, excellent. In case anyone is wondering, right now we are about 100 feet below the surface. It is all currently farmland above our heads here at the moment. Now, the halfway marker of our cave is a dormant flowstone formation right up here. This one is nicknamed our elephant's head. If you use your imaginations, you can kind of see the ear, head, and trunk of our elephant right there. And that formation is dormant, meaning there's no longer water flowing over it, so it's not getting those calcite deposits, and as a result, it won't be growing anymore. Now, I would also like to issue a quick word of warning as well. Right down below our elephant's head here, we do have the most hittable rock in this entire cave. There's a low-hanging rock in a dark area right down there. So anybody who is above the height of 5'6" is going to want to watch their heads down there. Now, the second half of this cave is also going to be considerably more narrow than the first half. So as we go along, you may have to be extra careful not to touch the walls as well. Does anyone have any questions before we move on?
Oh, there's the angry rock. Watch that thing. Yeah, they weren't kidding. She doesn't lie.
They can accuse me of many things, but not that.
Perfect. That is so neat. Oh. Wow. This just reminds me of a movie or something. I'm glad I lost weight. Oh, cool. Just keeps doing it.
It keeps on going.
Yes, it does.
It's awesome.
Yeah, really. Like you were saying earlier, of Indiana Jones.
Yeah, Indiana Jones, that's what we are.
Not sure. That we'll see next are known as fisherites. However, that's kind of a misleading name because the fisherite fossils are not actually fish. Instead, they're a kind of ancient algae, which would have resembled a modern-day lily pad.
Oh,
That fisherite name comes because they were named for the man who discovered them, Daniel Fisher, but it is kind of needlessly confusing, if you ask me. So the part of the fossil that we'll be seeing first will be its cross-section. So if you were to cut one in half and then look at it from the side, that's what we'll be seeing. There are going to be plenty of those cross-section views all scattered down this next passageway. There's also going to be one top view, so I'll be sure and point that out to you as well. And again, it is going to be kind of narrow down this way, so after I show you the fossils, if you wouldn't mind just pointing them out to those behind you, and that way everyone knows where they are.
okay. I'm making sure you're not in the camera.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, neat.
Alright, so coming up right here on this corner, you're going to be seeing the very
Oh,
first
neat.
cross-section view of these fisherite fossils.
Okay.
It is going to look a little bit like a worm or a snake at first glance, but again, these are an ancient algae. They would have floated on top of the water just like a modern lily pad. So what you're seeing right here again is the cross-section view. So I'll just have you point this one out to those behind you so everyone knows where it is. Then just make sure you keep your eyes peeled because there are lots more of them down this way.
Okay. Right here.
Right there.
Yeah, I see it.
Oh,
Oh, there it is.
she knows exactly where they're at. You know? Yo, it's
Been
right
here 7
here.
years, I should by
Oh,
now.
okay. It's like, whoa, what?
Alright, so coming up right here, you're also going to be seeing the one and only top view of these fisherite fossils here. With this one, it's a little bit easier to see how they would have resembled lily pads. And we also have a little bit of the cross-section on the side, so you can also see how that's connected there. So again, I'll just have you point that out to your neighbors.
Yeah, there you go.
Right there.
Okay, yep, I got it.
And then right here, we got a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Really? Yeah, the one right behind you, Craig. Oh. There are just so many cool formations going on here. Sorry, I'm just in awe.
You really?
Heck, this is Minnesota?
Never expect to find it in the middle of cornfields.
No. Who does? Hate to pick raspberries and see what the hell happens. Well, she's gonna do it again. Watch.
Yeah.
Alright, so has everybody seen at least one of those fisherite fossils so far?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah? All right, sounds good. There are going to be a few more in the walls down here, so you can keep spotting those as we go along. There is going to be another staircase coming up around this next bend, so just be sure and watch your steps as we head down that.
Wow. You're kidding.
Down, down, down.
I guess so. Goodness. Sweet. There's something going on here, or did. Of course she'll say. She'll know. She knows exactly what happened. She was here.
She is given that nickname because this is both the longest and the highest part of our cave. So as we go through here, I suggest taking a look up at some of these ceilings, because some of them do reach up to be about 100 feet high in certain places. Now, also as we go through, you will see several large pockets in the sides of the cave walls, almost like someone's taken a scoop out of the rock. And these are whirlpool formations.
Oh, neat.
Back when this cave was first forming, its main stream of water would have come in through this main passageway, but if a separate stream came in from up above, then they would form a whirlpool, which then proceeded to erode away the limestone and form these pockets that you'll be seeing in the walls down here. This first one is off to your left up here. There is also another larger one, also off to the left, right up here.
Whirlpool. Not the kind you want to get sucked into. Oh. Dang. It's way up there.
Yeah.
So coming right up here underneath this light, we also have another fossil.
Cool.
This fossil right here is called a horn coral. The horn coral is an extinct kind of coral that was named because it had a very unique horn-like shape to it, almost like a little cow horn, which you can't actually see on this one because its tail is embedded in the limestone here. But if you would like to get an idea of what a full horn coral fossil looks like, we do have some examples in the hallway upstairs where we started from. We also have that second larger whirlpool formation right up above that.
Oh, neat. Whirlpool. One thing I learned in my life, anything can and will happen.
Going down.
Yeah. Well, we're not deep enough yet.
Wow.
almost like you're Luke Skywalker going through the Death Star.
Well, you know what? That's fitting. I have my lightsaber earrings on today.
Yeah, I knew I liked you for a reason.
Well, the staircase coming up. Down, down, down.
Touch. Don't touch.
Darth Violet.
I could get into that.
Yeah.
Some of you have probably already noticed we have kind of whitish rocks that are poking out from either side of the cave walls down here. This is a rock called chert, C-H-E-R-T. Chert is a rock very similar to flint. Just like flint, it can be used to start fires. Chert has also been known to break off in some pretty sharp pieces, so it's also been used to build arrowheads in the past as well. And the reason you're seeing it kind of poking out of the walls like this is because chert is also a much harder rock than limestone and does not erode nearly as easily. These rocks actually did used to extend out much farther into this passageway, but the first cave explorers who made their way down here decided to break them off with a sledgehammer so they could more easily access the rest of the cave. Now it does sound like there's another group coming back out of the cave, so I'm going to have us come up just a little bit farther.
Okay. Yeah. She knows exactly where to be at. So you know this. So don't mess with her.
What your head is, low ceiling.
Wow. Oh my. That is insane.
So if you want to take advantage of being the first ones down here, this side of the room is actually the drier side.
Oh, okay.
Just don't come to the other side of that.
Think that's something, huh?
Alright, so right here we have a room of the cave that's called our cathedral dome. And the cathedral dome here is also a whirlpool formation. Back when this cave was first forming, we believe two large waterfalls used to pour in from up there and up there, which created a gigantic whirlpool which then carved out the entire room that we're standing in now. Now, this next room that we'll be passing through down here is known as our stalactite room because we have more formations growing down there than anywhere else in the cave. Because it's so active, that means there's going to be a lot more dripping water down there, but most of that is off to the left-hand side, so if you want to stay dry, I do suggest sticking over to the right.
Oh, how cool. And it goes down this way too.
This way back here is just a dead end. It actually cuts off where that dark blue starts in back there. Alright, so here we have the very last room of our cave tour today. Right now we are about 200 feet below the surface. Now, even though this is as far as we're going to go, the cave itself does actually continue on for about an extra quarter of a mile straight back that way. But we don't take our tours back there because in order to reach the very end of this cave, you do have to army crawl through a ton of mud for about 10 to 15 minutes.
Oh.
And generally speaking, most people don't want to have to do that. But every now and then, some of our tour guides do a little exploring back there, which is why we have a ladder to make this down there. I have, yeah. And I had to throw out the shoes I was wearing because they got so soaked in mud. Now the same stream from the waterfall is also visible flowing off to the right-hand side down there. And that stream is being joined by water coming in from a sinkhole, which is the rain noise that you're hearing right now. Now, you guys might see the light flicker, and that's because the truck behind us is just letting us know that we're coming down, that they're coming down into the last room. That's nothing to worry about. Just for right on our tail, though, that does unfortunately, I won't have time to turn the lights out now. I'm very sorry about that. Come back again.
Damn. I'd be like, oh shit. This is awesome. That was pretty neat stuff, wasn't it? Well, there you go. That was Niagara Cave. And I tell you what an experience that was. And Violet was fantastic. Thank you, Violet, very much for your work that you do. Really appreciate it. On to the next adventure.